Welcome back to Takacs McGinnis Elder Care Law Hour. I'm Barbara McGinnis, where we always talk about the many issues related to aging, disability, and unexpected illness. Today's episode, we're particularly talking about aging in place, aging safely in place, and how can we use technology to help us do that?
Right, and I'm Tim Takacs, and today we're talking about technological advances. In particular, we're talking about medical monitoring. And so today we have with us Michelle Tomerlin with Guardian Medical Monitoring, one of the companies offering technology suited for seniors. So welcome, Michelle.
Thank you. Glad
you're here. Let's talk first about medication management. That's a big deal for seniors, right?
Absolutely. As Barbara had mentioned earlier, you know, baby boomers are really just growing in leaps and bounds. I think the most recent statistics are like 42% of the population are baby boomers. Every 7 seconds, a baby boomer is turning 60, so we're using more medication as we get older.
Right. And why is medication management so important for old people? More than just like setting up a pill box. I mean, that sounds like easy, but it's not, is it?
No, it's not. Actually, what I just mentioned, the fact that we get older and we're using more and more medications, it becomes more of a task to manage those medications safely. Falls and medication errors are the two largest reasons that seniors are hospitalized.
Falls and medication management, or I should medication mismanagement.
Errors, actually, yes, either taking too much or too little of their medications.
Right.
So how does technology help us manage that?
Well, Guardian Medical Monitoring actually offers medication dispenser devices. We have two in particular that we use fairly regularly. We first have the MedReady that works very much like a standard medication box would be used, your Monday or your Sunday through Saturday dosage. It can do up to 28 days worth of medication. It is a cell-based unit, so they don't have to have a landline, and it can be filled either by the client themselves, their family member, a hired clinician, or a pharmacist.
Right. Okay, so think. All right, so visualize this for me. Okay, I'm a boomer, right? You know, and what I'm visualizing is that you have a medication pill box, you know, and then you remember the Addams Family? You know, the hand comes out. Is that what happens? You know, there's like a hand that there's like a pill in the hand.
That would be really cool, but not quite.
You don't do it. How does that work then?
Well, it actually is just a round device that's, you know, very user friendly, and it works again like a standard pill box. When it's time to take their medicine, they'll hear a noise similar to a boop, boop, boop. Let them know that they're going to receive instructions. When it's time for that dose, it simply unlocks that dose and allows them to take it. That's something they can actually take out themselves, or a caregiver can provide that by dispensing it into their hand for them.
Okay, so it means like it sits, so the medication is like sitting there in like a little cup or something, and they just grab it, or?
Yeah, it's your pill box,
right?
And but it's locked. You can't take the wrong dose.
Correct.
Okay.
For the MedReady, it's a round unit. It's flat, and it has compartments for 28 days. It can hold up to 14 pills, of course, depending on the size of the pill. But when it's time for them to take it, there is a locked door with that dosage, whether that's 1 pill or, you know, 14 pills.
Yes.
It will unlock. They simply slide it open, take the medications out, and then put it back. And then it actually won't notify them again until it's time for their next dose.
Okay.
If they're using our larger unit, which is the MO8600, it will do up to 40 days worth of medication, and it can dispense as needed or PRN medications as well. It does dispense in a little cup with a lid, but they do have to release that with a button. So it does lock. It is assisted living appropriate according to regulations, because it is an individual unit that does lock. So they don't have to worry about grandkids getting into it, or quite frankly, the client themselves don't have to worry about taking their medication before it's time. If it gets too close for their next dose and they miss a dose, not only do they record that, but it will prevent them from taking 2 doses at once.
Okay. Well, good. So what are the prices for those devices? They sound great.
They are, and it does range anywhere from $45 per month to around, you know, $90 per month, depending on what units they utilize. And again, we have more than just the 2, but those are our 2 main units that we use.
So does Medicare cover this, or insurance?
They do not at this time, not for the medication assistance devices. We do hope that that will come around in the future.
Right. That doesn't sound smart to me.
It's not really, quite frankly. I mean, I'm excited because I do feel that they are starting to really understand the value of helping people better manage their medications.
Yeah. Let's charge them when they get to the hospital because they're overdosed.
Absolutely. And when you think about it, and that's a really good point, Tim, people don't think about the fact that if they have to have an ER visit, they've got the ambulance charge, they've got the ER copay. When you're looking at $45, $70 a month to manage your medication in your home with no contract, Guardian doesn't require them to do a contract, so they can try it. If they don't like it, they don't have to continue using it.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you rather have the opportunity to better manage independently your medications in your home than have to have a transportation to the hospital and possibly incur a very large hospital bill?
Right. I mean, that's kind of the theme of this episode. I mean, talking about is that let's take care of the small things first so they don't get big things.
Absolutely, and it really helps people to be independent and to do that better.
And I think you have something called, what, virtually there care monitoring? Is that what I care home monitoring?
We do virtually there care cameras. They are wonderful for folks that are, quite frankly, in my position. I still work. I have both of my parents still alive. I have kids still at home, and I have adult children. It allows people to be able to be there virtually when they can't be there physically. It's peace of mind for the caregivers or the loved ones, as well as an added security measure for folks that are living at home or living in an environment where they might have caregivers coming in from a private company. Just an added safety measure for them.
So when you say virtually there, that means you can see them and talk to them. You can talk to them, right?
Well, you can call them on the telephone. The cameras don't allow two-way communication.
Okay.
But actually, it was one of my first introductions to Guardian Medical Monitoring as a licensed assisted living administrator. One of the first things we ask folks when they come in is, what's a day in the life of your mom or your dad or your loved one? And I had a gentleman one time say, well, I'll just show you. And he pulls his iPhone out of his pocket. He has password protected, HIPAA compliant access, and he goes, there's my mom. And I was able to see his mom sitting in the chair, her caregiver passed her going into the kitchen. It's just a nice peace of mind for him, and quite frankly for her, to know that if there's a need, that they can visually lay eyes on her remotely.
Right. So she knows somebody's watching and everything else.
Absolutely. I mean, in general, I mean, they know that there's cameras there for their safety. They're not always on and just watching them constantly. They're only triggered when someone actually goes in and looks for them for a specific reason.
Oh, okay. So tell us how that works. I don't follow that.
Well, if they have the cameras in their home and someone is interested in checking in on mom, say it's lunchtime and they know that she sits in her recliner and she gets lunch at that particular time, they can actually go on their laptop, their iPhone, their desktop, enter their password, and they can actually, if they have more than one camera, they can select which little square they want to push on for which camera, and they can locate mom and just kind of see that, yes, she's supposed to be getting lunch at this time. If she's not getting lunch or doing what they expect, it's an opportunity for them to call the caregiver or call mom and say, hey, mom,
what's
time to eat lunch. You
so
know.
Is that when the camera starts?
Exactly.
Okay.
The camera comes on when the person initiates that
step.
step.
So it's not like, does it record or?
It does have recording potential. Let me give you a scenario.
Sure.
Let's say that you have a caregiver in the home from an outside agency, and maybe there's some questions about that caregiver, or maybe it's a loved one and there's medications that are missing. They have the capability of calling the 800 number for Guardian and saying, you know, mom has virtually their care. I have some concerns about this time period, and can you record from this time to this time? And they do have that capability where they can. But is it always recording? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Is it always on and watching them? It's not. It's there as an added safety measure for that individual, and to give not only the caregivers but the client's peace of mind that it's only active when it needs to be.
I would assume this is private pay as well.
It is for the virtually there care, but again, all of Guardian services are month to month. There is no contract, and that is important because not all companies that provide our type of services are the same. It's important that people know what they're getting.
So Michelle, we've got a couple of minutes, so tell us a little bit about the the monitoring, you know, where you have the bracelet or the necklace. Do you have that also?
Absolutely, we do.
So we have the medication management thing, we have the virtually care thing, and then we have the I'm falling, I can't get up thing.
Absolutely. It's called PERS, which is an acronym for Personal Emergency Response System. We do offer several different types of personal emergency response systems, or PERS as the industry calls them. We have everything from in-homes for folks that still have landline. We have 4G cell services. We can cover ranges anywhere from 300 square feet all the way up to 1,300 square feet in their home. We also have voice-activated call boxes. All of our units come with either a pendant they can wear around their neck or a wristband, but if they have someone, a parent that maybe doesn't want to wear it but needs the service, we can do the voice box activated as well. So they simply speak out into the air a certain phrase, and that phrase will alert Guardian medical monitoring.
So you say, okay, Guardian, right? Is that it?
We do. We might say, hi, Tim, this is Michelle with Guardian Medical Monitoring. Do you need help?
Right, gotcha.
And that's an important part, too. You're not just getting EMS called. You're actually talking to a real live trained person that's going to have a conversation with you.
Right. So half of Davidson County isn't going to show up at your door.
Exactly. We're going to send you the appropriate care that you need, whether that's a neighbor, whether that's your son, daughter, or in the event of an emergency.
So we're putting your contact information up here.
Wonderful.
Guardian Medical Monitoring. What about, is that the PERS? Is that what you guys call the Caregiver Connect?
That's actually, it is a PERS device. It's a little bit different, and it's very unique in that it will do all the things that the personal emergency response systems do in the event of emergency, but it also has the capability to have a pendant that has a two-way communication pendant. You can actually speak right into the pendant, so it can go around your home and outside with you.
Great.
Also has a concierge feature.
Great. Thanks so much. So thanks for being here, Michelle. Well, when we come back, we'll be talking about hearing loss, you know, and aging in place, so stay with us.